The draft fixtures for the 2020-2021 Star Times Uganda Premier League season have been released. And I tell you what, Bright Stars will play KCCFC away for the opener for KCCFC for this season. And then we have the build-up ahead of this game. On this show tonight, we have the social media trivia and the fan zone, plus a guest for the 26th episode of the KCCFC TV show. Good evening. My name is Magero Moses Mwanje. You and I are walking this journey together. Now, to start it off with the club news from KCCFC this week, we celebrated 2 birthdays, and that is Musa Hassan, a left back at KCCFC, and the skipper, the captain, and the lead of them all, Mr. Charles Lukwago, celebrating his birthday this week. It was top stuff at the football club, and I tell you what, the players really celebrated this with their fellas, and I mean, it was nice stuff at the football club because, I mean, you have your birthday, and then just after training, your friends cut cake, and then you get to be thankful. It was nice stuff at the football club. So happy birthday to these players once again, Musa Hassan and the skipper Charles Lukwago. And we know that you really had a good time, and we hope the added year even comes with more blessings and success. Still about the club news at KCCFC this week, 4 of our players plus the assistant manager, also the head coach for that under-20 team, represented the football club. And this was at the Sekafa under-20, called them the AFCON zonal qualifiers happening down in Tanzania. Uganda is pitted in Group B against teams like Burundi and South Sudan. The first game happened on Monday, and that was against South Sudan, the game ending 0-0. We had 2 players that started this game, that is Musa Ramadan and Steven Serada, a midfielder. Unfortunately, in this game, Musa Ramadan was sent off, and he received his marching orders, and the Uganda under-20 team had to finish the game with 10 men, but fortunately enough, they did not lose the game. That game ended 0-0, and the coach was Mr. Mole Biekwa, so he's also the assistant manager at KCCFC. Going into game day 2, still in this tournament for Uganda, they played against Burundi, and the game ended 6-1 in favor of the Uganda under-20 team. And then we had a player scoring in this one because Mr. Chiza Joseph Bukenya came on in the 66th minute and he scored in the 87th minute. Top stuff for Uganda, I should say. So we have a player from our team that has already registered a goal in this tournament. And also to tell you something about still this player, is a graduate from the KCFC Soccer Academy. We had Musa Ramadan miss this one because of suspension, but then the positive is Steven Serada represented the football club because he played 90 minutes in this game. And then we had one player who did not feature, that is Kafumbe Joseph. So top stuff from the football club. Well, those are 4 players in Arusha representing Uganda in the Sekafa under-20. Call them the AFCON zonal qualifiers. Chiza Bukenya, Kafumbe Joseph, Musa Ramadan, and Steven Serada, coached by the assistant manager at KCCFC, a familiar face, Mr. Mole Biekwa, to continue representing the football club and also raise the ban of Uganda higher. And that's all about the club news from KCCFC this week. Now, still about KCCFC TV, we have the social media trivia back. It has been quite a month without having the social media trivia, but we have it. And for this week, we asked the fans on our social media platforms that name the Uganda Premier League sides KCCFC played on opening game days for the past 3 seasons. A jersey is up for grabs for the winner and will be given out on the KCCFC TV show on Sunday, 10 p.m. on Sanyuka TV. And we have people that responded to this question. And we'll start with Twitter. Mr. Tabu Johnson says, 2017-2018, we had a goalless draw against Maroons. 2018-2019, we had a 2-1 win against Toro United. And 2019-2020, it was a 1-0 win against Wakiso Giants. Then at Michael Best, still on Twitter, says 2017-2018, we played Maroons Football Club at Lugogo. 2018-2019, he says Toro at Lugogo. Then 2019-2020, he says Wakiso Giants at Wakisha. No, that game was at Lugogo. Then Emmanuel Manuel, still on Twitter, says Wakiso Giants for 2019-2020 season. Tororo Football Club 2018-2019. We don't have Tororo Football Club in the Uganda Premier League. It's Toro United. Then Maroons FC 2017-2018. So the winner for this week's social media trivia is Tabo Johnson, who says Maroons, Toro, and Wakiso Giants. So congratulations, Mr. Tabo Johnson, and you will be receiving that 3rd kit for KCCFC next week at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Still about the social media trivia, we had questions asked still on our social media pages and then on Facebook. Just to give you the respondents, Job Massa says, Maroons 0-0 in 2017-2018. Then 2018-2019, we had KCFC play Toro United, and that was a 2-1 win for KCFC. And then a 1-0 win against Wakiso last season, 2019-2020. Then Hans Conrad says 0-0 against Maroons in 2017-2018. 2018-2019, it was a 2-1 win against Tororo United. We don't have Tororo United, Mr. Hans Conrad. And then you say 1-0 against Wakiso Giants. That was last season, the 2019-2020. So you fail because you say Tororo United. Then lastly, Hash on Facebook says Maroons Football Club, 2017-2018. Then you say 2018-2019, Bull FC. And then 2019-2020, you say Wakiso Giants. So the winner for our social media trivia on Facebook is Job Massa, who said Maroons, Toro United, and Wakiso Giants, giving the right teams and also the right scores that happened in this game. So congratulations, Mr. Job Massa, and you'll be getting your third kit for KCFC next week at a function that will be at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Now this week on the Fan Zone segment, we caught up with the fans and we asked them what changes do they want to see in the new season, that is the 2020-2021 season, that they were not able to see last season. And then the second question was, do you feel KCCFC has enough preparations ahead of the first game, that is next week on Friday in the Star Times Uganda Premier League? The fans gave their opinions, and this is what happened when we caught up with the fans on this.
Hello, my name is Matt. I come from Chebando.
Amanya gange bampetasimoge Emmanuel Kagwa, mbera side z'Esseguku Katale. Nga mbadde muwagizi wa KCCA okuva nga nkyali mu senior 5 yange kati giweze emyaka 5 nga mpagira kilabu eno.
My name's Tamzade John, a resident of Naguru in Nakawa division.
Season eno kyenjagala okulaba nga kikyukakyuka engeri gye tusambamu nga tugenze kwawe, njagala okulaba nga tuwangula nnyo emipiira mingi kwawe nga tugenze okusamba ku mpira gyawe. N'ekirala kyenjagala okulaba that club emaleko season nga erina unbeaten run.
Our style of play we need to change by most likely winning away matches, because we have been winning home matches, but once we go to away matches we lose, so that cost us the league.
If management can actually think of something to create a shade or what, trust me, this is almost every KCCA fan's cry.
And oza KCCA yetegese ekimanga egendo sampira gwa Bright Stars mu ngeri ziyinza okubeeremu nga bbiri. The team erikutinze bulungi elesa abazannyi abapya abalina experience abaddeko nga basamba ku mupiira.
Bright Stars has always been one of those boggy games. It's a side that is always aligns itself that it's hard to beat. But this is KCCA, so the harder the team, sometimes the sweeter the victory. So we are good to go.
I think KCCA had enough preparation for the first game in the league, because the training and their preparation of they are always committed for the training and other friendlies we do play here.
I think the boys are prepared well. However, we have several players on the under-17, on the under-20, and on the national team. I feel it has disorganized our boys a little, but you see, Mike Mutebi knows what to do, so we trust we shall be ready.
Nekirala club yaffe nene nnyo ebeera neyo pride that it's a big club katugisuubira okuba nga ewangula emipiira egyo ogwa Bright Stars.
Interesting opinions from the fans ahead of the 2020-2021 season, and you get to think the fans are really excited that football is back. But I tell you what, Sanyuka TV has you sorted, because they are going to show you all these games. That is the 2020-2021 season, and you'll be watching them live on Sanyuka TV, or you can even download the Star Times On app and you'll be able to watch Sanyuka TV still on the Star Times On app. Now that's all about the Fan Zone. We're going to be going to a break, but before we go into the break, we have something from a fan rallying on others to come and support the Wear Your Local Jersey campaign.
Hi, I'm Ian Munyani, National Rugby Team player and Cobbs Rugby Club.
Hey, I am Geno Eric, a KCCA football fan.
I'm here to urge all our local sports fraternities to support the campaign of Wear Your Local Jersey, help us support the local apparel, and enable us to put out Uganda out there.
Every football lover and sports lover, in the quest of supporting Ugandan football, to buy a local jersey from any of the teams you would love to be part of. This will help us finance our sport due to the COVID pandemic that has made football fans not to be in the field. So I would love to call upon you guys once again. Let's support our sport. Let's make Uganda great again through sport, and in the long run, we shall also increase our revenue. Thank you.
Now welcome back from that break, and just like we told you, we have a guest for this week's show. We'll have him introduce himself and then we take it on from there. Sir.
My name is Balinya Juma. I'm a forward at KCCA FC.
Wow, Juma, it's been about 4 months since you were signed at KCCA FC. How has life been in these first 4 months?
Life has been good so far. Yeah, it's been so good. Yeah.
Any friends you've made at the football club?
A lot, like almost everyone when it comes to players, and then I have friends with some coaches, then even the other stuff, but I have so many friends right now.
Okay. Yeah. You mind mentioning some of the friends that you have at the football club? People would like to know.
Let me start with coaches. Coach Kawiye, all the coaches are my friends, but there are those who are so close. Coach Kawiye, Coach Kebi, even Coach Mike, but not so much. Then all the players, almost all the players are my friends. And then there are some other other guys, like there's this guy who helps cleaning the pitch. I can't get the name, but there are so many. I have
very many friends.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to go back to your football career, how you started. What made you play football? Or what is the inspiration behind you taking on football as a career?
First of all, when I started talking about how I started playing football, like I was inspired by my elder brother, who didn't make it like at a higher level in football. He just played in schools. So that is the one who inspired me to play football. Then after that, I started playing football. I studied in school. I studied in schools because of football. I was not paying school fees because of football. Then after realizing that I'm good enough, then I started to take football as a career.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned you were not paying school fees while growing up because you were very talented. What are some of the schools you went to?
I went to Kawempe Mbogo for primary, and then I went to all level. I went to 2 schools. No, it was three. I went to Oxford High School, Kawempe. Then I went to Broadway, still Kawempe. Then Old Kampala.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I finished near 4. Then I went to St. Mary's.
St. Mary's Chitende.
St. Mary's Chitende, yeah.
Okay. Now, your football career, you've mentioned Old Kampala. Old Kampala, by the way, is one of our schools of excellence at KCCFC. So most of our youngsters play there. So you pass through the right hands, I should say, growing up. So going back to your football career still, what are some of the clubs you played for up to now, KCCFC? You could mention some of the clubs.
I started when I finished school from Chitende. Then I signed in Vipers. I played for Viper, then I played for Reza. It's not there right now. Then I went to Police FC. After Police FC, I went out. I went to Tanzania. I played for Young Africans. Then in that 1 year, I played for 2 clubs. I went to Young African, then Gor Mahia in Kenya. From there, I came back home.
Wow.
To KCCA FC. Yeah.
Big clubs, they should say. Yanga and Gor Mahia, they always have a sellout stadium when they're playing.
Yeah.
We're going to go to those teams later on. So still about your football career growing up, I understand you've been through an academy before.
Yeah.
Which academy was that?
Kampala Kids League.
That is KKL.
Yeah, KKL.
How was life in KKL, and who are some of the players you played with during those days?
It was fantastic. Life was fantastic. I played with Saddam Juma there. I played with Iguma Denis was there also. There was Emma Magambe. I played with Dorian. I played with Maxime Van P, who's a bike rider right now. Yeah. And then there are so many players, but so that's some.
Nice. Now, speaking about KKL, that generation, not everybody has made it out. If you look at, you've mentioned players like Saddam, you've mentioned players like Dorian, who has played in the Champions League before, for AEK Athens. What do you think is the reason why some players from that generation did not make it out of football? Because KKL won very many things growing up, Gothia, Tivoli Cup. Why is it that some of you have made it and some didn't make it?
Me personally, I think like to make it in football, it's all about the path you take when you're growing up. If you take the right path, then you go to a good place. So some of us, if you look at where we passed, Old Kampala Kids League, Old Kampala, St. Mary's Tende, we passed through the right road to come where we are right now. Some of our friends, the reason why they didn't make it, I think, is they made maybe some bad decisions. They took the wrong directions, and I think it's all about the path you take when you're growing up.
Okay, and taking the right path, that's very, very key, because if you don't make that right decision, then you might hit a very bad end. Okay, now Juma, 2018-2019 should be your best season in life so far, because you were at Police at that year, and then you won the top scorers goal with how many goals?
With 19.
19 goals. Then you went on to play professional football. So tell us, what was the inspiration behind that season at Police before you went professional?
First of all, it's the coach. The coach, I can still thank him right now. I thank you, coach. He believed in me so much.
Which coach is that?
Coach Abdalambil.
Okay.
He believed in me so much, and then he was always telling me, you can make it, you can be this, you can be that. Becoming a top scorer, it wasn't in my plan when we started the season, but because my style of play, I was always thinking that I always create for my friends to score, and then maybe I can score 1 or 2 goals when I get chances. But he told me, no, you can do more than that. You can score at least 7 or 8 goals in a season. So that's how I believed that I can also create and score. So when he told me, try to score at least 7 goals, maybe you can get something good. So when I put it in my mind that I can also score goals, then I started working on my scoring abilities. Then I saw that it's possible. When I scored like 8, I said, no, let me go to 9, let me go to 10, let me go to 11. Then I was like, and become a top scorer. Then that was it. Wow,
you believed in your abilities and you went for it. So, congratulations, being the top scorer. It's not something easy in the league that has very many strikers.
Yeah.
That was one good season for you, I should say. And then you went on to, before even we go to the professional football, what was your best goal that season and against which team?
The best goals?
For you, that season. Because you scored 19 goals, but there's that goal you look up to and say, that goal was really nice.
One was against Kampala City. It was I did 2 step-overs and then shoot. And then another one is it was against Maroons, but that game was not broadcasted. It was a diving header. And then one against KCCA.
How was that one against KCCA? People want to know. Kindly describe it.
It was the second leg.
Okay.
You know, when we played the first leg, they beat us 6-3. Then when we come back in the second leg, we are beating them this time round. So it was 1-1. The game was in the dying minutes. Then it was a chip over the goalkeeper, Lukwago. It was a nice goal. So those 3, I think, they are the best goals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Juma, so you went on to move to Yanga Football Club that is in Tanzania. How was life in Tanzania?
Life in Tanzania, it was not so, I can't say it was, if I say it was easy, I'll lie. It wasn't so easy. When I went there, when I started, everything was good. I scored so many goals. During the period in Yanga, there are some things that happened which I cannot say here, which I didn't like, and there are some of the stuff which pushed me to leave the club, because I live I left the club willingly myself. I said I want to leave, and then they said you could think about it, what and what. Maybe you are not making the right decision. Then I insisted I want to leave, but life wasn't so easy in Tanzania. There's some stuff I could not go by there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day you'll tell us that story, but we can excuse that for now.
Yeah.
So you move on from Yanga to Goma here.
Yeah.
After 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah, after 6 months.
How was life in Kenya at Goma here? These are all big clubs, I should say.
Yeah, life in Kenya was good. I started well. The first, I think, my first game I came as a substitute. I played well. Then the second game I played for 90 minutes. I scored 2 goals. We won 3. I scored 2. Then I didn't play so many games. I played like 4 games in Kenya. Then the pandemic came in.
Oh.
Yeah. Then when it came in, they told us go home, rest, and we see when we shall resume. Up to now, nothing has happened.
You've never heard from them.
Yeah. So the reason why I left Gor Mahia, because when I went there, the team had no sponsorship, and all the players, we were willing to wait because the sponsorship was on its way. They were coming, but when this coronavirus came, they pulled back. So I think even up now, they haven't got anything. Players are suffering with salaries and what. I heard that they told the players, if you have a club where you can go, that's what they told us. Because they told us now we have no other option because of the pandemic has destroyed everything. So if you can go anywhere, it's okay, you can go. So when I sat down and think, I said, why can't I go back home?
Okay.
So when I came back home, then KCC came in and said, let me go back home and then prepare so that I can place well, and then maybe I go back to profession.
Wow, East to West home is best, just like they say. Now,
Yeah.
new beginnings at KCCA FC, 4 months since you joined the football club. No active game yet, only friendlies with the Uganda Cranes and also internal friendlies.
Yeah.
What shirt number are you going to be donning next season at KCCA FC?
Shirt number 10.
Shirt number 10. Big one, I should say. But are you ready to defend that shirt number, and how are you going to be able to do that?
Of course, I have to work hard. I have to work hard. Yeah, I think that's all about football, working hard.
You want to work hard.
Yeah.
What are your personal goals, not the team goals, personal goals ahead of the 2020-2021 season that will be resuming very soon?
Yeah, my personal goals, the first one is of course being the top scorer, because I've tested it. Now I believe it's possible. Even if I'm a midfielder, it's possible. So that's my first one. Playing for the national team, because when I play well with my club, then of course they have to call me for the national team. That's the second goal. Then the third is going back professional. Yeah.
Wow, playing for the national team, going back professional, and then scoring goals, maybe being the top scorer once again.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice one. And KCCFC has a mission this season. I was told last time when I had someone here, that was Chigozi Samson, that the club has a mission called Group 14-11. He told me group means group stages of the Confederations Cup. 14 means the 14th Uganda Premier League title. And 11 means the 11th Uganda Cup. Those are the goals for the football club this season. How ready are you to take part in all these, especially CAF, because it will be your first time to play in the CAF competitions?
It's not my first time.
Oh, you did it at Yanga and Goma here.
Not at Goma, but at Yanga I played CAF. So, of course, when the league starts, every big club in the country, in any country, every big club is the first target is to win everything. So we are going out for everything: the Uganda Cup, the UPL, and then the group stages. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, we want to go for everything.
You want to go for everything.
Yeah.
Juma, in your last words, you're going to look into that camera and send out a very powerful message as the shirt number 10 of KCCFC for this season. And people want to know that camera, and just pass on your message to the fans, to the stakeholder out there, and very many youngsters who look up to you and want to be like you. Your last message to the stakeholder.
My last message is to the fans. I know how much you believe in me. And you talked about the shirt number. Yeah, number 10 is it's the best number in football, I think. So to the fans and everyone connected to KCCFC, it's just a promise that I'm going to work hard. I'm going to work hard to be even a better player than I was for Police FC, because I know everyone liked me because of that season I played with KCCA. For Police FC. So my promise is I want to work hard. I'm going to work hard to put up even a better performance that I put up when I was with Police FC. And to the young kids, the only message I have for them is in football, talent doesn't help alone. You have to work hard. Yeah, it will pay later. If you work hard, you really get paid. Yeah, hard work pays.
Thank you very much, Juma. I should say you've had a wonderful debut on the KCFC TV show. I look forward to hosting you again at the end of the season, this time as the top scorer for the football club for the 2020-2021 season, right?
Inshallah.
Wow. That is Mr. Balinya Juma. Strong words out there saying talent alone does not help. You need to work hard to make it in everything, not only football. So that has been Juma Balinya, the guest for this week's show. We'll have more guests on this show going forward, but we are going to be going to a break, and when we return, we have the build-up to that game next week between KCCFC and Bright Stars, the opener for the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Everything after this break. Welcome back from that break. Now the good news and the biggest news for the week is football is back. And just to mention about that, this week KCCFC will be playing Bright Stars in the opener of the Star Times Uganda Premier League for the 2020-2021 season. Now remember, a while ago, the president gave the green light, plus the Minister of Health, for football to resume. But then since then, football hadn't resumed because there were different things the world of football had to do, especially here in Uganda, because there were standard operating procedures that had to be made, players to be tested, then the whole licensing thing. Then we had teams that had to leave the big league to come to the Star Times Uganda Premier League, and very many other playoffs. But now everything is done, and the good news is football will be resuming this week. KCCFC will be playing Bright Stars on Friday, the 4th of December. Now, just to tell you about this game, last season, when KCCFC was playing Bright Stars, that game was away in Kavumba. KCCFC lost that game 2-1 to Bright Stars because Bright Stars scored first, and then Muzamiru Mutiawa equalized for KCCFC. That was at the stroke of half-time. But then in second half, Bright Stars came back and won this game 2-1. I remember the fans being up in flames because they really wanted to win that one. We were closing in on the leaders, that was Vipers at the time. Unfortunately, KCCFC did not win this game, but here's a perfect way to pay back that debt against Bright Stars, because we are playing them in the first game of the season and the boys are ready to go. Also remember, the first game of last season, that was the first leg between KCCFC and Bright Stars. That game ended 1-1. And it was at Lukwago, a lot of controversy around that game. Bright Stars scoring a goal that was turned down, people thinking that was a goal, but I mean, we have to go with what the referee said. So there's a lot of stuff around this game, and you get to feel this is the best game to start off the season for KCCFC against a team that has been a bogey side for KCCFC. Now, to start it off with the available squad for KCCFC for this first game, the opener of the Star Times Uganda Premier League 2020-2021, the available keepers. We'll start with the goalkeeping department because we have Charles Lukwago, very excited and confident because he's coming back from the national team after that double-header game for the AFCON 2021 qualifier against South Sudan, and he has come back with a lot of experience, a lot of things learned, because he's been playing with goalkeepers like Jamal Salim and Dennis Onyango, the captain of the Uganda Cranes. And then you also look at the other keepers that are available for that game. Mwerusi Ali, who had some good games towards the end of last season before the league was aborted, and Matovu Hassan, who's coming on back from loan to KCCFC, and he's been at Proline for 2 seasons. And you get to think now he's a grown man because he came in from the ranks that is the KCCFC Soccer Academy. Now he's back to compete for the #1 spot. So Lukwago has some sort of competition this season because he knows he has 2 goalkeepers in the ranks waiting. Because of anything, we will have them in the squad. Then you look at the defense, the available defenders. We had some new signings in that department because we have Moses Kalanzi, who came in from Denmark, played for teams like Jamabat. He has also played for Uganda Youth Soccer Academy before. And then you have the experienced Denis Iguma, the versatile player, plays for the national team. He's played for the national team before. And he's also going to be donning shirt number 25, formerly donned by the youngster, the teenager, Alan Okello. And you get to think that the coach made the right decision to hand it to Denis Iguma because he's a very versatile player. He can help you in right back, he can help you in central defense, he can help you in the midfield, he can also play forward. That's how good Denis Iguma is. But we also have other players like Kato Samuel, also in the ranks of the national team now, a very good youngster. Played this day before KCCFC last year in the Sekafa. And then you have seasoned players like Peter Magambo, who have been around for some time. Musa Hassan, very excited, and now that he has even increased his stay at the football club with that extension of his contract, you have players like Aheebwa Achai, who will be playing in that left-back role for this season. So a lot of defenders, and also the youngsters that will be coming back from the AFCON zonal qualifiers, players like Musa Ramadan, the former captain of the KCFC Soccer Academy. So you get to think that the defense unit is quite solid ahead of this one. We don't even know who the coach will play because he has 30 players that are able to play at any given time for him. Then the midfield, that is where everything is. The midfield for KCCFC this season. You look at the defensive midfield, or what you call the pivotal role, and then you have Gift Ali in that role. You have Kezron Kizito. You have players like Kawoya Andrew, the youngster from Vipers junior team, and has also played for the St. Mary's SS Chitende team. Then you have players like Anukani still in the midfield. You have Balinya Juma, who can help you in the midfield, shirt number 10, can help you in the midfield and can also help you in as a forward. You have players like Chigozi Samson. Man, that midfield is quite compact. But guys, I just pity, I don't even want to say it for the technical team, both Coach Mike Mutebi and his assistant Molly and other technical team members, because you have close to 10 good midfielders. You have the first game of the season and you ask yourself, who do I play in this one? Because all the guys are good, but it's up to them. I mean, that's why they were hired. And when you look at all the press conferences, Mike Mutebi was already saying, when we were signing players, he says it's some good headache for him because he also wants to be there with a very good squad at his disposal, but he doesn't know who to choose ahead of the game. Let us see who he chooses for the first one. Then the striking force for KCCFC this season, Brian Aheebwa, shirt number 9 from Bara City, very good striker, and he's also in the ranks of the national team. You get to think he will have some good time at the football club and will have, very, very good time, especially with players like Sadata Naku came in from the KCCFC Soccer Academy. You have Sam Senyonjo, who had some good time last season up until his licensing issues happened, and then he was not able to finish the season. And then you still have a player called Charles Rwanga from the SC Villa junior team, and then straight to the SC Villa senior team. Now at KCCFC as a striker, you have Balinya Juma, who can help you as a forward because he's a midfielder, but can also help you as a forward. So a lot of stuff at the football club this season. That is the squad. We may not have mentioned every player, but we just pinpointed out a few. But that is a big squad for KCCFC this season. He has 30 players, maybe without 5 because you have John Revita out injured. We hope to have him early next year. And the 4 players that are away playing in the Sekafa Under-20 tournament, call it the AFCON Zonos, that is Kafumbe Joseph, Chizabu Kenya, you have Musa Ramadan and Steven Serada. And you get to think when they return at the football club, that is after that tournament, the squad will even be boosted better and even bigger. So that is the squad available for the game against Bright Stars, the first game for KCCFC for the Star Times Uganda Premier League season. Big stuff for the football club because everyone at the football club is excited. Guys have missed football and they want to just destroy teams. So Bright Stars, we have a date to pay with you guys. Last season, you won that game away in Kavumba 2-1. It's fireworks coming for the first game that will be against you guys. Now, still about the preparations ahead of that game between KCCFC and Bright Stars, the club has been playing a lot of friendlies this week and also even the week before, because before the Under-20 team traveled to go to Tanzania for that game, KCCFC played the Under-20 team and that game was won by KCCA 2-1. Earlier on, they had also still played that Under-20 team and the game was 3-3. And then there's that internal game called the Chirunda Omondi. Now, just to tell you about the Chirunda Omondi, guys. Chirunda is a former player at KCCFC. He died this year, unfortunately. And then Omondi is the legend named after that stadium called the MTN Omondi Stadium. Died 21 years ago. That was in 1999. So is that friendly? And that friendly, I should tell you, it's even harder than even some of the Uganda Premier League games we play because it's when you look at how the players play this game, they want it that bad, just like a final. I mean, it's like a cup final. So we have played that. Very many of those games are internal friendlies, and the players, just to see, I mean, the fitness levels of the players, what kind of systems and formations can the players use, to also see how different units can gel the defense with the goalkeeper, the strikers, with the midfielders. So many of those friendlies have happened, and I should say the players are really worked out, and you get to think that they are ready and fit ahead of that season. So we caught up with the skipper, the captain of KCCFC, Mr. Charles Lukwago, ahead of the first game of KCCFC this season against Bright Stars, and this is what the skipper, the captain, the lead of them all had to say.
The players are excited and they are positive. They are eager to start again, to play the league again. They are ready to compete. The new guys have beefed us up, and we are positive, and the rest of the team is positive. We're just waiting for the date to play again. The preparations are a bit strange because now we've not had a lot of friendly games before the league resumes, but we all understand why, and it's not only us. We think and we know the rest of the teams haven't had the chance to have a lot of friendlies, pre-match friendlies before. But the biggest thing is we are going to have the league again, though we have had strange preparations, but nothing to do about it. Yeah, we have had a lot of time to prepare. At least the period of preparation is long, though it's strange in its own way. The plan is to win again because this is a winning team. We've set our targets high. We hope to win, and we are going to compete in every competition we are going into. We want to come out victors in every competition we're going to have. To the management and the board, we just want to thank you. You've done great through this challenging time. We're almost getting past it. The rest of the stakeholders, it's strange we're going to play without you, but we have you at heart and we shall represent you well.
Now guys, you've heard it from the captain, strong words from the captain, that is Mr. Charles Lukwago, experienced captain, I should say. He's been at the football club for quite some time. He's in the ranks of the national team, and you get to think he's the perfect leader this unit needs ahead of that mission, something called the Group 14-11 for KCCFC ahead of this season. So we did not only catch up with the captain, we also caught up with the fans for their predictions and what they think ahead of this opener for KCCFC this season. This is what the fans had to say ahead of the game against Bright Stars.
Bright Stars is a hard one to get, but our boys are ready. Look at a 3-1 KCCA.
Prediction yange gompira eri nti KCCA ensubira okugiwangula 3-0.
2-1. Since we always have challenge, it is always tough to play with the Bright Stars at home. Yes, this is the right revenge for KCCA to show that it's the best team. It's the best team of all teams in the country.
KCCA kuneze mazeko. KCCA genda kuwangula olumpira gonna ogugisala maaso.
Now to the clubs out there that are preparing, guys have made a little bit of signings, but you see, when you're big, you're big. I'm sure we lost the title. I would say we lost the title because of COVID. This time with no fans out and the OSOP is being, I see ourselves getting back to the board.
Exciting stuff from the fans. The fans are, I mean, we really stand with you, the fans, because we know you're not going to be watching this game this season live, I mean in the stadiums, but you're sorted because Sanyuka TV are going to be showing these games live. That is on Star Times. You can also get to watch this game using the Star Times on app. I mean, what better way to watch the league without you being in the stadiums, but live on TV? So Sanyuka is bringing all these games. What must you do? Buy that decoder. The decoders are really cheap. Get to download that Star Times on app and you'll be able to watch the game of football live on TV. You don't have to be live in the stadiums, but you can watch the games live on TV. Now guys, that has been it for this week's show. Remember, we had a guest for this week's show. That is Mr. Balinya Juma, a forward at KCCA. Will be donning shirt number 10 ahead of that season. We caught up with the captain ahead of the build-up for that first game for KCCA, the Star Times Uganda Premier League 2020-2021, plus the fans. We had the club news where we told we have 4 players still representing us in Tanzania in those AFCON zonal qualifiers. And then we had the social media trivia back on the show, plus the fan zone. Plenty of stuff for this episode 26. And I tell you what, episode 27 will even be hotter because we'll have played the game and we'll have your reactions, plus a lot of stuff that will be happening on the show. My name is Magero Moses Mwanje. Have a good night.